What is genetic engineering?
Genetic engineering is the technology of preparing recombinant DNA by cutting the DNA molecules and splicing together fragments from more than one organism, which is modifying the genotype of the unborn individual to control what traits it will possess when born.
Genetic engineering is a scientific process that alters the genotype of an organism before it is born. The way to perform this operation is to first remove the cell's current nucleus and replace it with the desired nucleus from another cell.
No doubt that in the future, people are going to want to use this technology for uses that go beyond medicine, for uses that are cosmetic, for things like eye color and height, and other things that are on the border of medicine like longevity. I have no question in my mind this technology is going to be used to provide people with these kinds of genetic choices in their children.
One day, parents may be able to pick any gene they desire from a range of bottled genes and have it put into their embryos. It's strictly against the law to do this in humans, and yet scientists have been quietly perfecting the art of adding genes into
There is a
embryos.
significant ethical debate regarding the subject. Should genetic engineering be legal for humans? Is it a social economic issue? Is it safe enough? These are all valid questions.
The process is very inefficient, and so perhaps 1 out of 100 mice will be born with the appropriate genetic engineering occurring. And so I can breed 100 mice, take the one mouse out of 100 that has the correct gene change, and get rid of the other 99 mice. You can't do that with human babies. And so as long as the efficiency was so poor, it wasn't conceivable to do this with humans.
One day, it might even be possible to buy artificial chromosomes off the shelf. A chromosome with all the genes for perfect physique, another one designed for long life. Some even think a chromosome for added intelligence could be possible. But before we put an artificial chromosome like that into children, it would have to be tested in animals.
The problem is that once we tinker with the genes in the sperm and the egg, we give somebody the ability to be able to pass on these new genetic elements that have never been present in human beings before, and they get passed on.
And here's the final irony. The expense of genetic engineering means that only the rich could buy disease-free super babies. Class differences between the rich and poor would become genetic differences. Some think that eventually humans could even split into 2 different breeds.
The problem with this technology is that it will disadvantage every child whose parents are unable to afford it. And so the bottom part of society is going to be the place where all of these disease genes lay out, and the top part of society is going to get rid of them. And then the question is, will our government, will our society, which is controlled by the richest people in society, care about these diseases which are just floating around the lower class?
Genetic engineering is advancing with every year that passes. The technology that may finally put us in the driving seat of evolution is now falling into place. The question is not whether or not we are able to use it, but how we are going to use this technology to change people.
The only thing that stands in the way of this technology are people's ethical views on this subject.